delicious. We're good.
Hello and welcome back to Hustle and Bustle. I am Pat.
And I'm Alex.
What's up, my friend?
Ooh, nothing much. Just watched the Chiefs win. It was good.
A little nerve-wracking.
Ugly game for a few bits of it, but ended up on top, yeah.
Watching Russell Wilson go out with a bump on his head reminded me of your first rugby game when you got a giant dent in the middle of your forehead.
Yeah, it did look like the exact amount of space that was missing from my head just kind of appeared on his.
It
was
looked
weird.
like what I assume would happen after a lobotomy.
That's why where they poke you to relieve the pressure.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But anyways, go Chiefs. What's new around here? We have a new weekly social media segment thing.
Yeah, banger of the week. So we come across like a lot of pieces that I think deserve the spotlight. So starting this past week, we're going to highlight a banger piece that we think deserves to be shown to the world. And as like a sales promotion, if you spend $50 on clothing in store, your name will be entered into a raffle to win the piece for free. So yeah, they're pretty. Like the last shirt we had was a 86 Giants NFC Championship shirt. It was like in really good condition, and we've got like a couple of pieces I've got lined up for the next 2 weeks. So yeah, it's exciting.
So I have talked from Jump Street, like tried to figure out what our identity is, and we started talking vintage, market ourselves as a vintage company, and came up with the term bangers on hangers. But I think more and more we realized that we're really a thrift store once we built this place and wanted to lean into that, and we're totally fine with that. We feel good about it. Throwback thrift is kind of the new term we've coined to describe a little bit of what we are, and the idea is like curated thrift.
Yeah,
and we have some shit that comes through here that deserves, like, is worth a lot more in a vintage market.
Yes, totally.
And we don't have an entire store full of it, partially because it's really hard to resource. The reason it is expensive is because people have to pay and outbid each other in order to get it and then upsell it to you to have a profit.
Yeah.
So, but we do still have it. Like, you can come in here, you can go fishing and get like a really badass marlin in this, kind of small, cool, tiny pond. And so, yeah, it's cool to highlight it, I suppose, is the idea. This is probably bigger news. I would say probably the biggest news that's in announcements is I have a new process for rotating what's going to be on the front television.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is an eternal process.
A new process or just a process?
This is just a process. Previously, I had leaned on DVDs because if you get the right DVD, you could just go in like seasons and episodes at a time.
Yeah,
and then you could get entire days, basically. Then you only have to touch the TV like twice.
In one case, yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you get the wrong DVD where you can't just stream, like binge all of the episodes. You have to restart between episodes. Or some DVDs only have like 4 episodes that you can stream at a time instead of like 8 or 10. So then you end up like fiddling around with way more fucking work. But VHS, the best part is you put the VHS in. When it's done, it rewinds itself, auto rewinds.
That had to have been.
Then it spits out the VHS, and then all you have to do is go boop, just boop, push it right back in as you walk by. Then you watch your Land Before Time. Before you know it, you don't have to wait for the fucking menu to load.
Dude.
So now VHS is the bread and butter up front. So now I've got this fantasy where I'm just going to play every single VHS in the store. I'm just going. I've started in the arcade with the bookshelf, and I'm just going to go all the way through them all and play every single VHS in the store at least like 2 or 3 times, and then just rotate.
Dude, I don't know his name, but some person followed us who's like total complete niche is just VHS, like aesthetic and old films. And I was scrolling through his Instagram. I'll put it up whenever we post edit this. Yeah. But he's got like some real sick shit and like one of the cool old box style TVs, and it was really neat. I wonder how we found our
I want all of the. If there are enough of those people to constitute a club, I want them to meet here.
That's right.
We need to meet all of those people, and then we need the Kansas City audio visual club to come here. The other day, some dude came in, like super friendly, hi, walked straight to the back, picked up. I don't remember what VHS it was, but it was like something I'd never watched. It was super obscure. and like came up to the register, and this all happened within a matter of like 3 minutes. Like he knew what he came in for and where to go get it, and then got it. That was kind of unique.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, I don't even know what fucking VHSs we necessarily have back there, but I like toying with those, so that's fun. Dive into a little half empty, half full.
Yeah, half empty, half full.
Okay, I'll start because I only have one.
Okay.
All right. So half empty, half full, and I think that we'll probably stop prefacing the fact that you'll see this, but I'm just going to show you half empty, half full on Cool Tunes coolers, Igloo coolers. Have you seen these?
Yes.
Okay, but they're also licensing them, so it's a cooler that has speakers, so it's like a boombox and a small cooler.
Okay, I haven't seen this.
But they also like have like there's a Notorious B.I.G. one.
Nice.
They have like Chiefs ones. You can get a Care Bears one. You cannot get an Iron Maiden one because Iron Maiden, they're sold out. What do you guess this is, dollar-wise?
Dollar-wise, $87.
$180.
$180. Wow, I'm off by like 120%.
The unlicensed ones that are just Igloo coolers that have the speakers, $130.
And I'm going all the way empty on this because I know those coolers. I love them, but they only fit a 6-pack with a little bit of ice. Enough for 2 people and like a picnic. You throw a speaker in there, I don't like is it a bigger cooler? Because if there's hardware in there, what are you lugging around?
I'm with you. I'm half empty because it's like at some point
they're just making shit up that we don't need. No one needs that. It's too worse.
It's cool. I want it.
That's
I would
it.
pay $40 for it, maybe. I like it. I think it's dope. You would carry it around if you got it for the right price.
Yeah.
But now that I know what it costs, if I see you walk into a party, I'm no longer like, oh, dude, that's dope. What a sick cooler. Did you see Ted's cooler? I'm like, Ted paid $180 for 4 lukewarm beers. Did you know? Like now, I know that you've paid. So it's kind of like Yeezy shoes. I never thought those were cool because those are beyond like a threshold of cost versus value.
Yeah.
I was like, if you bought those, you're just a sucker of consumerism.
Oh, it's gross. And I'm upset that if we go out, you don't buy me at least 2 beers because your whole tab is on your feet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, there's my half empty, half full.
Okay. Well, you said you're...
Yeah, I'm empty. I'm meeting you on empty.
Which is a shame because, like, a few years ago, they started...
I hope someone rips them the fuck off. That should be super rip-offable.
I'm sure there's 8 of those on Wish. Like, yeah.
Have you... All right, let me just ask you this. This isn't... here's my second half empty, half full.
Okay.
Are you half empty, half full on Alibaba? Have you ever purchased anything on Alibaba?
I have spent a total of 10 minutes on it and said no. And I haven't given any more thought until just now.
Because... it's, the business people I listen to, they talk about what a great stock it is to invest and what a great company Alibaba is. And I guess the stock has been kind of down for a while, but he's been touting that this guy I listen to, these should
That's the
pick
dude
it back
that
up.
got, like, ousted from...
The CEO disappeared.
Yeah. What's his name? He's real goofy.
I don't remember, but he just like disappeared. But that's the CCP. They've decided that they're not going to let capitalism rule the world. They see what it's doing to
You've done
us.
enough capitalism. Give us back the market.
That's exactly what they've done. But so half empty, half full. Where did I start on this? Oh,
Alibaba.
on Alibaba, because we were looking at the other day, like trying to source some stuff, and we're like looking to get cheaper, and we have no affinity for Amazon. You finally have come around and realized that Amazon is bad for small businesses like us. So,
I've known it's bad. I've just been...
I don't know.
well.
Should we buy something on Alibaba? Do you know anyone who's ever bought anything on Alibaba?
I don't know anyone personally, but that's like... I don't know. I can't imagine using it.
See, I've bought knockoff jerseys from like Chinese websites, and they're great. Like, they're not as good as the real ones, but it's the same manufacturers
Value.
that make Mitchell & Ness, that make your $180 jersey. This is just, they make it white label, steal the label. It's the same place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So you're half empty?
I'm half empty.
All right.
I'm more and more empty on any huge selling conglomerate. It's just scary.
I'm empty, but... I'm getting a little thirsty looking at those prices. Those Alibaba prices look pretty good. All right, what do you got?
No doubt. Okay, seasonal question. I got into a little argument with Caroline the other night. Half full or half empty on drive-through Christmas light displays?
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm empty. empty. I've done like I was about to like I've better that last year me and Jen or 2 years ago we went to watch the Clydesdales over COVID. Do you know what this is?
All the way in St. Louis?
Okay, but they have a farm for Bush Clydesdales in Boonville.
Oh, okay.
This side of Columbia.
Okay.
So you can go and like they have a Christmas tree lighting thing and you get in your car and you pull through and you like see the Clydesdales. I've had days where like I just smoke weed and go back to sleep 3 times, and that's less of an egregious waste of time than going through a lighted Christmas thing to watch horses.
Nothing is better than getting through the end of that and then being like, oh, thank God.
What?
Being able to go about your day.
Oh my God.
I hate the ones.
Was Caroline half full?
Yeah, she said,
yeah,
you got to get in the mood, you got to have your hot chocolate, and you just got to have the Christmas music, and then, oh, fuck me, no. I hate driving to houses with Christmas lights up. I think people should decorate their house, but I'm not taking an excursion to go watch your house.
No, I don't want, what if we intentionally forced you into a traffic jam, but there were cool lights?
Dude, fuck no.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, okay. Same. I'm all the way empty. Okay. This is a good one. So, I don't know another billionaire and SpaceX.
Okay, great.
I don't know the dude's name, but he purchased 12 seats for a moon trip through SpaceX. And yesterday he announced 8 of the names and then 2 of the backups to go on this moon trip.
Okay.
And they're all artists. I have the list. I don't have the list somewhere. But yeah, they're all artists from all around the world, from like music to painting to poetry to all that kind of shit. Half full or half empty?
Are you going to tell me the names? Do I have to decide?
I don't even know any of. You wouldn't know any of them. Like, there's one dude who's a YouTuber who's like the.
So what's the reasoning? He's doing this just to give artists this perspective and see what art comes from it.
The reason is he has billions of dollars, and SpaceX said we'll fly people to the moon if you give us enough money.
Okay. Well, does he know that Ukraine could just use some money? Like, just send it there, pal. That's half empty. I'm empty.
I think he would be
full fucking empty on
full
this.
Empty.
100%
okay, so
empty.
what if he chose
This
you?
is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever. I'm not going.
You're not going.
Not going.
Oh,
no.
I wouldn't go either.
Fool's errand. Not doing it. Let me go on this super dangerous, super cool capitalism adventure. No. Out. No, I don't want. You couldn't. Would you go to space? Would you get on one of Elon's rockets?
I don't know.
Would you get on Bezos's rocket?
I would sit and think about it.
No, I wouldn't.
The idea.
I don't think I would go to space, even if it was NASA's rocket.
Well, I don't want to.
I don't even want to go there.
I think there's bad reasons for it to get on anybody's rocket. They're all probably awful.
Yeah,
I don't know, but dude, I feel like it would be life changing in a good way to look at a rock that is Earth from space.
Yeah. That I'll do. That's what the Oculus is for. Send someone up there who enjoys that shit, get it filmed, and then I can. That's what I'll strap an Oculus on for.
Okay, fair. Okay, my last one is pretty mediocre, so we'll just do it. So, have you ever seen the movie The Edge of Tomorrow, or There's No Tomorrow with Tom Cruise?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Well, anyway, so Emily Blunt, I guess, was.
I did. I saw this headline.
Oh yeah, so she's the co-star to this Tom Cruise movie, The Edge of Tomorrow. Fucking love the movie. One of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. Amazing movie. But the whole time they have to wear these huge like exoskeletons, and so Emily Blunt's like this little tiny person, and
John Krasinski's wife from The Office.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like the first day of shooting, she like started crying and said that she wasn't going to be able to like do this part because she couldn't lift the suit and act in it. And I guess Tom Cruise just like looked at her for like 5 seconds of just solid eye contact and said, "Why don't you just stop being a pussy?" And then like went on acting. And then it all turned around and they filmed the movie and it went great. And she like took it to heart and she like stopped being a pussy. But
See, my presumption when I read that headline was, oh God, we're canceling Tom Cruise for telling.
See, do you think, now this isn't really a half full or half empty, it's a rabbit hole, but do you think other actors can say that and be canceled? And is Tom Cruise just so lovable that...
No, Tom Cruise is the most cancelable motherfucker on the planet.
How? He hasn't been canceled yet.
What has he done that's super cancelable? Other than be a part of the Church of Scientology.
Well, that's true. I guess he doesn't really have a rap sheet.
Yeah.
That's
I
fair.
think he's like prime picking. I think plenty of people would love to cancel Tom Cruise if...
I hope they don't. He's too interesting of a little dude.
Yeah, I don't think so. You think that he's privileged? You think he should be canceled then? You think that's cancelable territory if you're surprised?
No, but I'm saying I was equally as surprised that this article wasn't digging him up and like shitting on him for the full page. But like it was all...
What is it? Like something, I don't know what percentage of it is, but it's gross. How many headlines at this point are social media generated? Like are just a tweet or a post that now is newsworthy.
And then have you heard of Jasper AI?
No.
So I went down this rabbit hole of AI because there's the new Twitter bot where you can like interact with it and it sounds just like a human. And my brother is huge into AI, and so he always like gives me these lectures that I comprehend 10% of. And so there's these apps and programs that you can use, and they'll generate pictures. Like a lot of people will put their photo on these apps, and it will like draw their face in different artistic
Well, the huge
styles.
AI thing's going now, right? Everybody's putting their face out
Yeah,
and getting
exactly.
these super sexy.
This Jasper AI one is like it's like $10 a week, but you can like it will make titles, descriptions, hashtags, and like articles for you. Like you can give it prompts and it will write news headlines and the news for you essentially.
Yeah, I've heard of these coming.
Bananas.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
Like it's the average. Like I get ads for it, and it's advertising to me to be my social media manager. That it will create content for me with like graphics and titles for posts and descriptions and captions to those posts.
That's fascinating.
And it's just a program.
I wonder if it'll work. And like it'll work to some degree.
It works to a degree, yeah.
Right, like the auto captions work, but they don't, right? Like 90% of the social media auto captions I see, what I'm reading is not what the motherfucker's saying.
Yeah. Well, so the big thing is like a lot of that is all like free. Like CapCut, we don't pay for any of that. This is like serious. Like you pay $10 a week because you're paying for these huge computers and servers to like be running all of this shit. It's wild.
Yeah, but it's terrifying.
Like that is the near future where like you call a restaurant and the hostess isn't a person.
Yeah.
And like,
I think it sucks. I mean, it's the worst. So I actually had this thought because
what do people do? What are people going to do? Like how much of our workforce is just people interacting with people because like that needs to be a job? Like so much of...
Well, this is what Andrew Yang has been saying.
Yeah.
And that's why UBI has to exist. Is because like if we don't supply universal basic income, there won't be enough work to go around.
Yeah.
And what allows this, frankly, is like the disparity of wealth that we have. Because like the cost of the R&D is astronomical. But because there's enough people who have concentrated enough wealth to chase the very expensive finish line of what if I never have to hire people anymore?
Yeah.
But if they don't have the money to chase that finish line, I'm not so sure where we are. But it's also great. Like AI is helping us build our business. Without AI, we wouldn't be able to do, like we would still be sitting in a room and people would only be watching audio. Like, or listening to audio. I don't know. It's fascinating. It's fucking terrifying. It's
like
weird.
The last conversation I had with Aiden was I don't want anything to do with any algorithms because I was talking about I think just algorithms in general until like I get sick or I need a new vaccine or.
But there are problems in all of those. Algorithms, when we get sick, I think reliance on algorithms is it's the number one problem with the American. Well, maybe the number one is an issue, but it's a major problem with the American health system.
Yeah. Well, the one because like that we had finished on a conversation where they had used AI to like decode like DNA and it was able to perform like 3 years of work in a week, like decoding.
But it's not the same quality work. So it's quantitative work. It's not the same quality work. And I will argue that to the fucking death. And I'm gonna like, especially when you're coming to words. Now you're starting to play art, right? Like, and so it's nowhere near necessarily the same thing, because what ends up happening, and I'm going to use the medical system as a fucking example, because doctors now, and I'm not saying doctors don't know how to be doctors, but
Dude.
I'm saying right now they basically are just managers of algorithms, and then they take percentage, they spit in data points, an algorithm spits out to them a series of choices that they can take, and then they just take off of a dashboard. That's different than doctors who can fucking diagnose, who can look at patients, who can like have a softer side of things. It's not, science isn't just ones and zeros. Math is just ones and zeros. Science is not that.
Yeah.
Science has much more humanity to it.
You need a doctor because you need a human being to like be the barrier between computers, which just are better than us at doing things. If we do with like use them.
The problem
long
is our
enough.
society and our doctors have become so reliant on that.
Yeah, like when I was working
that
at Caribbean,
eventually no one will be able to do the math. That's the meta.
when I was working at Caribbean on the Boulevard, new nurses, they would like volunteer, and these were graduated nurses. A lot of them didn't know how to take blood pressure because it was all machines in the hospital.
Exactly.
And it was like bananas because like there were, we would have some old doctors who had time and money on their hands who were very active in the organization, who were like baffled that there were these new nurses and doctors and medical professionals that didn't know like these basics. So like
that's a microcosm that will be fucking way bigger and way deeper and wider throughout.
And I'm on that side of all of it. But like there's also like a lot of things I've learned like nutrition wise that it just, or like I don't know. It's weird to like when to accept the science and when to be like that's bad for me.
Yeah.
Or the technology, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, is that all the?
That's all of them.
That's all of them. All right. Cool shit I heard.
News. I want to talk about this.
All right. Let's do it.
Fucking Liver King, dude. Fake. He's on steroids.
Is he admitted to it?
He admitted to it.
Admitted. Wow.
He made an apology video where he, on camera, just him, admits to using steroids in the past and currently. And it's interesting. So
do you feel that he was caught?
So, yes. So how it went out was like about a year and a half ago, he had all of these, he was rich and had businesses, but he made this plan to use social media to sell all of his products, and he was getting old, and so like to promote his shit, like he was using steroids to look big,
right,
and sell his product. And so these emails got leaked of him reaching out to other doctors and bodybuilders with advice on his stack and if they could help him reach certain like physiques, and he's like, how do I maintain this look over years at this age, and so on and so forth. And so those emails got leaked, and then like 2 days later he gave like an apology slash.
Okay, don't assume everyone knows who Liver King is. Okay, so Liver King is this hulking person that kind of looks like you, but on a lot of steroids, who's in, I assume, his 40s, and his claim...
He's like 45.
His claim is that he eats organ meat raw, and that is his diet, and he lives like our ancient ancestors, and that's how he has achieved this unbelievable physique.
He's like, if you eat raw organs, walk around barefoot, look at the sun, and swim around in cold water, you'll look like a ripped, huge, just thumb of a human being like I will. But he was taking like $5,000 to $10,000 in steroids a month.
And his videos are outrageous. We're going to have to parry to them without question. So anyways, he gets caught.
So he gets caught, and then 2 days later, he does an apology video. And there's like 15 seconds where he does this bullshit of like why he was doing it to motivate people who were suffering from depression, blah, blah, blah. But then, honestly, the majority of the video is like a man sitting there and like talking about how he fucked up. So like there's a little bit of me that appreciated that he made the video, that he made it quickly, and like he took full ownership. Like he certainly didn't blame anybody. He kind of maybe made an excuse, but I do respect that he, like in today's age, it's so easy to just deny and create a false narrative and live in that.
Yes,
and, like you'll
100%.
succeed.
Yeah.
And so I was impressed that he embraced that, like he'd been found out, so he was doing something bad to begin with. So like being found out isn't a noble thing, but to like accept I was a little bit impressed, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. I haven't seen the apology video. You wonder, it's like, God, man, you're going to get exposed at some point. I mean, because did he just take a hockey stick type level up on appearance or awareness?
He's been pretty big his entire life. Like, he has been a bodybuilder, but he's 45 and looks huge.
No, I mean hockey stick up and like, do more people know about him? Like, did he just?
So like they
just got bigger for some reason recently.
The dude who exposes him is like, he keeps bashing on him because he says like, I don't want any of the attention, blah blah blah. But like the emails and his plan clearly are like premeditated, strategic. I need to look this big, and he hired like a Snapchat dude and a chef and did like intentional social media marketing to gain views to sell his product. Mm-hmm. So like it was all very planned and intentional. I don't know. I forgot what you originally said.
I did too.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just interesting. It shouldn't be. There's a really muscular dude selling protein powder, and
it's just it's fascinating that he thought he was going to get away with it, and then he gave up with it so quickly.
The fact that he so clearly looks like
he must have felt the heat was coming, and like he'd been living in the guilt for some time for him to be able to convert that quickly into just
especially like having kids. Like your kids look like twigs. They're eventually going to be like, how the fuck do you look like that? And
was he really? No one was believing he was feeding his kids raw livers.
Yeah, some of the videos.
There's some explanation.
It's good. It's good.
My news is way sadder. I want to talk about Grant Wall. Grant Wall's a Kansas Cityan, and I don't know that everybody has connected all these dots in the same spot, but he's a Kansas Cityan. He grew up here, went to Shawnee Mission East High School. He was in Qatar, right? Like so, Qatar World Cup. It's the guy who gave the World Cup to Qatar, Sepp Blatter. Have you seen this famous video where there's a comedian and activist who goes in front of the FIFA admins that are all sitting at a giant table and throws money in the air and says, this is for the next World Cup to be in North Korea, and throws it in the air. And the guy sitting behind him is Sepp Blatter, the former president of FIFA. Oh. All right, so the FBI, from the fucking American FBI, arrested FIFA
I remember that raid.
Executives in the United States, which tripped off Sepp Blatter basically saying, I'll stop working for FIFA for like he basically went on a hiatus of getting to work for FIFA as his punishment. Okay. So because of Qatar, like Qatar should never have this World Cup. It makes no sense for Qatar to have the World Cup. Being gay there is a death penalty. They never had any infrastructure or stadiums. They just got a shit ton of money. And it's this concept of sports washing. Anyways, Grant Wall goes there, investigative journalist, has a gay brother, wears a rainbow shirt to the stadium, gets detained, publicly embarrasses Qatar about it. And then on Thursday, tweets this, right? The other big hubbub about why the Qatar World Cup makes no sense is because of the lack of infrastructure. And I don't know the exact number, but there are a lot of migrant workers who died.
It's like 3,000 to 5,000.
3,000 to 5,000. That's a big fucking number. That's multiple 9/11s who died to make this World Cup happen. So Grant Wall tweeted on Thursday, they just don't care. Qatari World Cup organizers don't even hide their apathy over migrant worker deaths, including the most recent one. On Friday, he was dead. Collapsed in the press box of what seemed to be cardiac arrest symptoms and died very shortly thereafter. Like was tweeting during the game, dead by like of regulation of the game, dead by extra minutes. And it's just like blows my mind because like I first off, I think there's one of two default reactions.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack and died. That's really unfortunate. And
he was assassinated.
Something nefarious happened. He was assassinated. He was killed. The state, like someone from the U.S. State Department has already tweeted that they're in communication with the Wall family and working with the Qatari government to make all of the Wall family's wishes come true. They didn't say specific what those are. It could just be getting a body home. It could mean a million things.
Yeah.
But Wall's wife was in President Biden's COVID transition team. So like he's, like this is significant. And Brittany Griner just happened, which I think is significant. That was a celebrity thing that took the president to act and take a controversial, somewhat shocking to me that's controversial, but a controversial step to get someone home. So like I have a hard time imagining that the U.S. State Department's just going to accept that this is a cardiac arrest without some investigation.
It certainly at the very least deserves a lot of spotlight.
Yeah. And it's just terrifying. And it's like, I think
It deserves spotlight because I wonder if, like, how many, like, it's such a strange location with so much going on. Like, how much of things like that can just happen and they not, like, acquire the right amount of attention, and another thing happens a week later and it just never
have you
gets solved.
heard of Havana syndrome?
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, depending who you talk to, this is a complete hoax or it's fucking real.
It seems too documented to be not something.
So I don't know what's going on. But what if indeed he was killed? Let's leave that narrative open.
Yeah.
To me, like, it is one of the most shocking points of capitalism, like this unfettered capitalism. And I'm a capitalist. We're entrepreneurs. We believe in capitalism. I believe isms and ists and ians kill us. Those suffixes kill us because we take them on as ideologies and we forget that they're all blends in life.
Yeah.
That socialism is the road that we fucking drive on to and from and home, and the ambulance that, and fire truck that responds when we call 911. And that capitalism is like us being able to build a business, and those things have to coexist. Mm-hmm. But in this world where capitalism has gotten so stacked to where one billionaire can buy out an entire rocket and put his favorite, fucking
he did it for the artists.
Artists on the thing. We also have a scenario where you can literally have so much money that you can just buy the World Cup, and it is worth. I think this is the end. Like, this would be the grossest end result, like a negative externality of our current state of capitalism that I can think of. So, like, other than maybe Epstein being a gross miscarriage of that, right? Like, these are the two things that it smacked me as hard as that.
I haven't really, I guess, pondered. I've tried to just distance myself as much from the World Cup because, like, it seems just too obvious to everybody now of, like, what it actually is to participate in it unguiltily. And I'm just not a big soccer fan, so it's really easy for me to be like, I don't want to participate in that. But
China, Russia, Qatar, Brazil, like, the more totalitarian, authoritarian, less free your government is, it seems like the more you get rewarded with these massive events. And this World Cup, I cared the least amount ever, definitely because it was in Qatar, played into it. I didn't, like, draw a line,
Yeah.
But, like, I just haven't cared.
Yeah.
And
that's
Grant Wall dying, I now feel sick even thinking about caring.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's only opening the door open to maybe he just died. Maybe something horrible just happened. But my stomach has been turning ever since, so that's just been sitting in there. Fun thing to end on, I suppose.
Yeah, listen. Somber note.
All right. Well, anyways, that's Hustle and Bustle. Catch you next week.
Peace. Oh, yeah. There's like 5 clips in there.